105.3 worldwide at WDASFM.com. Hit us up.
One of the best movies that you will see this year, and for a lot of people, they're going to walk out of the theater and say, this is one of the best movies I've seen in a long, long time. We're talking about Straight Outta Compton, and we've got the crew here, the director, F. Gary Gray. We've got, I'm going to call you a newcomer because I've never seen you. He plays Eazy-E. He's amazing. Jason Mitchell, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son, and the legendary Ice Cube in our WDAS studios. How you guys doing?
It's good to be here.
The movie was fabulous. The movie was great.
Thank you.
The way you captured it, I just have so many questions for you. Let's start with you, Ice Cube. When you stepped off from NWA, that was like that's what the old schoolers call you stepped out on faith.
Yeah,
because
no
you
doubt.
broke away.
Yes.
And you launched your own career.
Yes.
But what was great about NWA, such the genius between Dre and Eazy and you, just, did you guys know that in the beginning, or you just felt this chemistry?
Well, you know, it's funny because we all started off in our own different groups and doing our own thing. And one day Eazy said, yo, you know, we like an all-star group. And I'm like, you know, me and Ren looked at each other because it's like, man, we still like locals. Yeah. We not no all-stars. You know, Dre was just a local producer, you know, and I was just a local MC. And he saw something that kind of we didn't. And, you know, we started doing this amazing work together and doing great records and records that we felt was so real. And you know, we look up and we were an all-star group. You know, that's a lot of talent in one group.
It is a lot of talent. F. Gary Gray, the director, of course, we know, set it off, Law Abiding Citizens, Friday. Basically the period, like a 10-year period, 1986 to 1996. My goodness, how you captured it all. I thought the beginning was funny. World-class wrecking crew when that group started. Ice Cube, the curls and the jackets. I mean, you captured it all, but this is what impressed me the most. You got into it's a business, and a lot of people don't realize show business. Please remember the business part.
That's right.
Because it really fractured the group.
That's
with
right.
the contracts and everything. And then the AIDS epidemic. How was that for you? Because I heard you say last night it was a 4-year process.
Yes. You know, it was a tough process, but it was worth it. You know, I've known Cube for 20 years. I started my career off with Cube, with Friday. And, you know, this movie, it took my entire life to prepare for. And it's a labor of love for me. And the 4 years of developing the script and the casting process and ultimately kind of putting it on the screen, you know, it took a lot, but it's arguably, I think, one of my best films, and it's the one I'm most proud of.
Let's talk about the casting of this movie.
Let's talk about it.
It was so good.
Thank you.
Everyone, when you had the character that played Jimmy Iovine, I was like, yeah.
You know, so for people who know Jimmy Iovine, they do kind of gasp when they see it. They're like, wow. You know, I got to tell you, Vicki Thomas and Cindy Tolan did an amazing job with casting.
Yes.
And of course, you know, Ice Cube did a great job with having Shay. That helped out in the casting process for him to have a son that, you know, kind of made it, you know. But, you know, it was really, really hard. And I would say it was probably one of the hardest parts of making a movie because everybody knows, a lot of people know NWA, but, you know, Cube and Dre, they're still in, you know, popular culture's consciousness. And it's like people know and they know what to expect and what they want. And to cast these guys took a lot. We went around the world. We went through the casting process was literally thousands of people, and we didn't make it easy for them, you know, especially for Shay in particular. You know, people thought that when his name came up that we just gave him a role and there was a little bit of nepotism involved, but he actually had to work the hardest. And it took, what was it, 2 years?
Definitely 2 years of auditions, you know, coming back, callbacks, different acting coaches, flying out to New York to be with a coach. You know, I always hear, you know, sports players talk about how much they love the game but hate training camp. You know, it was really, the process was the hardest part. You know, getting Universal to choose me. You know, and I'm so thankful to be taken through the ringer and made to earn the role. because it gave me the confidence to know that I was perfect.
You went through boot camp, bro. You went through boot camp because when the novelty of Shay being Cube's son wears off, you still have to carry an entire movie.
Yeah.
And that was, a tough task for both Shay and for Jason, who, when he auditioned, I knew that was my easy. I just wanted him to do a callback to make sure he could do it twice. I'm like, let me see if he could do this again. And he did it actually over Skype from New Orleans. And he killed it.
Yes.
And I mean killed it. And I'm very, very proud of what they delivered. It's world-class performances. And we don't have Denzel in the movie, but we have Denzel.
You got the future. Denzel's in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, you know what? I was there. I wouldn't say at the beginning of his career, but I would say that it was close to the beginning. I worked with Paul Giamatti 17 years ago on The Negotiator with Sam Jackson. And so he was my first choice. And he is incredible as well, man. For him to play Jerry Heller and to kind of, I remember times on the set where he would act and I would forget I was directing and forget to say cut. I would get just lost in his choices and his performances. So, across the board, we had the perfect cast, extremely hard, but worth it in the end.
O'Shea playing your dad when you had to do the Jerry curl.
Yeah.
When you had to do some of the scenes with the girls, did you say, wow, my dad had a wild life?
Oh, no, not at all. The Jerry curl and all that, of course it's the time. And, I was rocking it. You kind of rock it. It wasn't nothing too crazy for me. My father's very open with me. If he can't be real with me, who will? And the entire process, he was with me. He called me every day before I went on to set. There were some days where he would be Skyping on set because he was filming another film. He would be Skyping on set, and you'll see the iPad floating around, or you see the computer floating around with his head on it. And so he was very hands-on, And just to go back to Paul Giamatti told me his father was a famous baseball player, and he couldn't imagine the shoes he'd have to fill to play his father. And he would tell me things to, build my confidence. And he really was like the veteran in the locker room. And I'm thankful for Paul Giamatti.
Jason Mitchell plays Eazy-E. Grab the mic there.
Yes. How
you nailed this role.
Thank you.
I mean, it's just the way you did it. In filming the scenes, because back in the 90s, I'm telling you, AIDS was this thing like, well, what's that?
Right.
Who gets it? Gay white men get it. But when Eazy-E got it, it made people stand up on their feet. And it was like, oh my gosh. From filming that scenes to coming from being a drug dealer and putting your money into, I like your Eazy-E. I know. When he took his drug money to start a record company, what did you get out of playing? Because you're really getting to the essence of who Eazy-E was, watching you portray him.
Right. Well, for starters, I mean, he was just such a live wire and such a huge character, but he was a business mind before anything, like before talent, before any of that. He was a business mind that was really willing to come out of himself and say, hey, you got talent, or hey, I'm willing to do this so we can do that, and he was just that kind of guy, and he was a huge spirit, so to embody that already was its task in itself. But once I was in it, I was in it. Yeah. Once I was in it, I was in it.
Ice Cube, what do you hope that people get out of this movie?
I hope they, are inspired by the story. It's an American story. It's a story about some youngsters doing something constructive and not destructive. It's a story about friendship, brotherhood. And, it's only one movie this year that's going to encompass all the topics that we deal with in this movie, from crack to gangbanging to police brutality to the FBI to freedom of speech to Reaganomics to AIDS, HIV, the riots. We deal with everything that was happening between 86 and 96. And, it's just done in a very, very masterful way. And I think the people are going to be inspired and enjoy it. And that's what I want them to do.
Straight Outta Compton opens in theaters on August 14th. a great movie. I guess you could tell with my excitement. I was just like thinking everything that I wanted to ask. But thank you for a great movie. Thank you for telling of an era that was so important. You talk about 86 and 96. It's 2015, and we're still dealing with these same things.
Yes,
it's almost
true.
like nothing has changed, and we are still dealing with this.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for the story. NWA, such a big part in an era in musical history, just a game changer. And the way you said supergroup between you and Dre, and it just launched something really fabulous. So thank you for a great movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This action.
I'm telling you, I was just sitting there like so excited. And I said, I can't wait to talk to you guys and can't help to tell people the importance of seeing this movie.
Yes.
Listen, when you stood up last night and mentioned the Godfather, I mean, I almost fell out of my chair. You know, the fact that, you know, everybody really kind of responded the way they did is kind of something we're going for, and we really appreciate you.
Yeah.
We just appreciate the fact.
Well, thank you.
And we know you know.
Yes.
We know you know.
Yes.
I am. I'm a
this feels
movie
great.
buff.
Yeah.
There's just certain movies that just stand the test of time that people will be watching 20 years from now, 30 years from now, using it as a reference. I always say certain movies, American Gangster, The Godfather. I tease my boss all the time about Patton. I said, a true leader is Patton. That movie was so powerful. And I said, a true leader, if you want to be a leader, watch that movie. That man was a leader, because a lot of people don't know how to lead. But it is. This movie, Straight Outta Compton, is going to stand the test of time. Thank you guys.
Thank
August
you.
14th, go see it. Jason Miller, Eazy-E, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube, F. Gary Gray. Thank you.
Mitchell.
Mitchell, why do I keep calling you? Miller. You know what? I don't know why. Jason Mitchell, because he's going to be the next Denzel.
That's right.
Okay? Jason Mitchell. Thank you.
Thank you.